everybody, good evening. It's Shy, and this week, our journal entry video is about behavior, and particularly um, ways that we can develop approaches to help students with learning appropriate behavior skills. And first thing I think you want to kind of look at is when you have a student that's exhibiting difficult behavior, is to maybe first look at your environment, like the physical environment, the classroom. Is it cluttered? Is it organized? Um, is there enough room for everybody to feel comfortable? It's things like these, if not done, they can make a child very, very anxious, and that's one way that they can one reason I should say that will cause them to misbehave. You want to make sure that you have like a safe space somewhere kind of off to the corner that's quiet. Has some soft pillows or a beanbag somewhere that, if they need to, they can just go out back there, take a few minutes just to kind of bring things in and get it together. Also, too, maybe, and look at like the curriculum. All kids are, learn differently. And maybe really looked at, maybe you just have, maybe the child A is really only exhibiting these behaviors, but maybe that you have some other kids that, and he's not doing well, and they're not doing well either, yet they just really kind of aren't um, acting out as much, and it's why you're not noticing it. But it could be something with your curriculum, and maybe just find different ways to teach, involve more of the senses. And every child learns differently, and different techniques work for different kids. Um, of course, sometimes it can be something other than that. This is when you kind of want to start to really build a good relationship with the child and their family. You want the child to feel comfortable enough to be able to come to you, um, to know you're going to be accepting of them. You want to like form a bond with the child. Let you know, hey, we are in this together. The same thing with their parents. You guys are all in this together, for your common goal is to get this child um, on track. And and establishing a relationship with the parents is you guys can work together, because at the end of the day, one of the best ways you can help a child learn anything is consistent. Keep it consistent. So if you're doing the same things at school that they're doing at home, things are going to work a lot better. It's not going to happen a lot quicker per se, but I think the transition will be easier. And parents may be able to shed light on things that you hadn't thought about. You may be able to shed light on things that they hadn't thought about. And it's, nobody is trying to one up, and nobody's right or wrong. You want to make sure you listen to their opinion respectfully, and the same thing, listen to your opinion respectfully as well. At the end of the day, it's like you said, your goal is to help this child. And adult and positive adult role models is so important too, because that's who children look up to, and they learn from the behavior that you model. And we go back to our video about, oh God, poor Kelsey. Thank God she had, and no disrespect, because her parents had been through some stuff. They seem like very nice people, but at the end of the day, it was her team at school. They got that child to graduate. They worked with her, and yeah, she frustrated them, but you know what? They worked past things, and they made it their goal, and they worked together, and they got that girl to graduate, and probably for the most part, probably honestly changed changed her life, her trajectory of life. I mean, she changed just so much in that video from the beginning when she was a high school student to when she came back to speak to the other kids. And that, I'm gonna, like I said, no ill will to her parents, but that staff at school, the teachers, guidance counselor, they really put their heart into wanting that child to succeed. And it wasn't easy. Kelsey wasn't easy. But they got through. That's the same thing. It's not going to be easy, and you're going to have days where things go up, and you think you made a breakthrough, and then you're going to go take 3 steps back another day. It's just how it is. You go up and down till you hit that straight line. But other things with dealing with behaviors is sometimes, of course, you've got to look further into it. You kind of you want to figure out why these are happening, and collecting data is a great way to do it. And one of the things I saw that people, they had like a piece of tape on, they would put like on their leg, and every time a child, I'll just say for example, if he would talk back to a teacher, they would put like a notch mark, and then they would count up at the end and see how many, and like the goal was like to get it down to a certain amount. That was a great way to collect data because it's kind of indiscreet. You know, you're still interacting with the child, you're not taking away from them, but you're still boop boop, you know, you're making your data. What I really liked that we did, we saw, was the ABC data chart. And the ABC is the antecedent, which is what is going on before the behavior happens. That's your A. B is the behavior, the actual behavior that occurred. And C was consequence to the behavior. What consequence is what happened after the behavior. And then make a chart. I think they said to do it at least 2 to 4 times before you start taking data from it. So I just made, I'll show it to you real quick, and then I'll read it. This was about our student, John Q. And John is having trouble before they do, it's time to go to math, or to his math group in the classroom. So we'll say on the first day, it was 10:22 at 9:30. The teachers told us time for math. It's when John refused. He's yelling through his books, and his consequence was he didn't want to calm down, so he was removed from the class. So this is the next day for math. 2 days later, 10:24 at 9:30. Once again, told, hey, it's time for math. Started yelling, getting really upset. Once again, refused to do it. Refused to calm down. Was removed from the classroom. So that's 2 days. So now we're thinking, okay, right when it's math time, John is freaking out, getting really upset. Says upset that he actually has to leave. The rest of the day he's fine. So it's this time. So the third day, 10:26 at 9:25, the teacher goes to John personally and says, hey, in a few minutes we're going to get ready. You know, it's time to go to your math group. Then it's time. John gets upset, but it's not as upset as he was previously, and he just says, I don't want to go. So this time the teacher said, okay, John, do you want to work with me on it just one-on-one, or do you want to go to your math group? John said, can I just work on it with you? So now, with 3 days worth, and by sitting and just talking with the TA, John has admitted right now what they're learning, he doesn't understand at all. Everybody else in the group has got it lickety-split quick, and he is really upset, embarrassed. that he can't get it. So now the TA and the teacher are going to discuss if John can continue working with her on this current unit and then maybe integrate back in the group. But with the chart they were able to figure out in just a few days, they narrowed it down. Okay, this is the pattern. It's 9:30 math time is when this happens, and he's fine the rest of the day. But so this happened, so for 2 days we watched this, and the third day it clicked to, hey, let's kind of transition him a little more easier into it. And with, I guess, the easier transition, it was easier for John to say, hey, I don't want to do this. And like, remember what earlier I said is a lot of times with children with behavior issues, it's because they don't want to do something or they don't know how to do something too. So that's and that was probably my favorite thing that I learned about appropriate behaviors. There's other things that you can do. There's sticker charts or like prize jars and something. And those are good ideas and they can work for certain things, but you kind of want to get away from saying, okay, if you get a sticker every day this week, then we get to watch a special video, because if that child misses one sticker, all their hard work for the other 40 is just going out the window and they're going to be like crushed. So, like we talked about it in our discussion group or virtual class, and also it's something that I've done and other teachers in my school have done too, is just making like a big a jar and put pom-poms in it. So there's no time limit. You just say, hey, when this is filled up, we can have a pizza party. Like when our good deed jar is filled up, because that way there's not such a constraint on it, which once again all comes back to they get anxious if they see that time limit, and if they don't make it, they're gonna get frustrated. And after a while, they get frustrated. Sometimes they're just gonna stop. Like say, I'm never getting the prize at the end of the week anyway, so why try? Which brings me into the final thing I kind of wanted to talk about was punishments. Punishments are pretty much just all negative. I mean, I understand having a firm hand, like it's this, but you get a kid that after so many times, well, you've lost recess, you love recess. They've lost it so many times, they don't care anymore. You get to that point, like it's okay. Well, I haven't gone for 5 days. What's another one? They like, really. I just really don't think they work, and they're not. You're not teaching them anything. You're not teaching them an appropriate behavior. You're taking something away, and you're creating more resentful behavior. And at the end of the day, we want to teach appropriate behaviors, not add another negative one to it. And the thing with behaviors, you have to remember that we have to be really just patient. Like I said, it's not gonna, like I said earlier, you're gonna have 15 great days and you're gonna have one that's like, whoa. And you're gonna have 15 great days. But Rome wasn't built in a day, and these behaviors aren't gonna fix themselves overnight. So I think we have to be patient. Alright, thanks.